You know that feeling sometimes, that flicker of inadequacy, that really heartbreaking feeling of wanting to be something, well, something you're just not.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Society has a way of setting these standards, right? Beauty, success.
Exactly. And it can subtly, or maybe not so subtly, kind of warp how we see ourselves. It's that deep yearning we're talking about today. Welcome to the deep dive. We're not just discussing a book today. We are really immersing ourselves in Toni Morrison's incredible, searing debut novel, The Bluest Eye.
Such a powerful piece of writing.
It really is. And our mission, if you will, is to dig into the insights Morrison gives us here about identity, race, and, well, the crushing weight of those societal ideals that can lead to that devastating longing.
And Morrison herself, I mean, a Nobel laureate. This was her first novel, published back in 1970.
Right, 1970. And straight away, you see this immense talent for storytelling, but also for unflinching social commentary. She didn't pull any punches.
Not at all. She just laid things bare.
So, let's set the scene. We're taking you back to Lorain, Ohio. Think early 1940s.
Mm-hmm. Seems like an ordinary town on the surface.
Exactly. But it becomes the backdrop for this really tragic but also deeply illuminating story. And at the center of it all is Pecola Breedlove.
An 11-year-old African-American girl.
Yes. And her story revolves around this poignant, almost unbearable desire she has for blue eyes.
Blue eyes. It sounds so simple, but it's loaded with meaning.
Completely. For Pecola, these blue eyes represent everything she feels. She lacks beauty, acceptance in a society that just relentlessly pushes whiteness as the ideal and marginalizes blackness. What strikes you most about that initial setup?
I think it's the devastating simplicity of that wish.
Mm-hmm.
Morrison takes this very specific, almost childlike desire and just instantly peels back these complex, painful layers underneath.
It's more than just looks, isn't it?
Oh, much more. It's this deep desire to be different, fundamentally different, believing a surface change could somehow fix everything. We see hints of it early on, right? Those small moments.
Like the Shirley Temple cup.
Exactly. That detail with the milk in the Shirley Temple cup. It seems small, but it speaks volumes about the pervasive white beauty standard she's already absorbing, even in everyday things.
Yeah.
It's a window right into her world and, frankly, into the society shaping her.
That's a really sharp point. So, okay, that's the external world pressing in.
Yeah.
But what about her immediate environment, her home? Can you even imagine growing up where your family, the people who should be your safe space, actually magnify that harshness?
It's just so tragic, and Morrison portrays it unflinchingly. The Breedlove family. It's marked by violence, neglect, deep emotional abuse.
Her father, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie Breedlove. Alcoholic, abusive, carrying his own significant trauma from his past, abandonment and hardship.
And her mother, Pauline.
Pauline is emotionally shut off, really, lost in her own despair, finding escape in Hollywood movies, those fantasies of white beauty that feel so unattainable for her. And what's truly devastating is how their own self-image, seeing themselves as ugly, as inferior, because of society's racist views, how that poisons the home. It creates this awful cycle.
Cycle of poverty, instability.
And emotional abuse, absolutely. It gets passed down. It's like this wound that just keeps getting deeper from one generation to the next, right there within the family.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So this broken home life, this sort of generational wound, as you put it, it becomes the soil where Pecola's obsession takes root.
Precisely. It intensifies it.
It makes her longing for blue eyes seem like the only way out, almost desperate.
Exactly. Morrison shows it's not just external forces. It's the damage within the family, born from that societal rejection, that really fuels Pecola's obsession. For her, blue eyes aren't just about appearance.
No.
They represent this fantasy escape route. Escape from a home where love is missing, where she's invisible, constantly told she's worthless. If only her eyes were blue, maybe then she'd be loved. Maybe then she'd be safe.
And that specific desire, blue eyes, it just takes over everything for her, doesn't it? It's her one singular focus.
She clings to it, believes it's the magic key to unlock love, acceptance, everything. It consumes her.
And this is where Morrison uses that yearning so powerfully, right, as a lens.
A really potent lens, yeah. To examine racism and, crucially, internalized oppression. She meticulously shows how these societal beauty standards, so dominated by whiteness, inflict profound, lasting harm on black children.
It goes beyond just feeling less pretty or seeing certain faces in magazines.
Oh, much deeper. It's this insidious belief, almost like betraying yourself, that you should be something else because society deems your own identity inferior. It fosters this terrible racial self-loathing. Children literally wishing they could change their race to be seen, to be considered beautiful.
It's horrifying Because it means Procola's struggle, her wish, is never just about her. It's a reflection, a really painful one, of these wider societal
Yeah,
problems.
yes.
How these damaging ideas just seep into people's lives, shaping their inner worlds, like a kind of quiet violence.
That's a good way to put it. Quiet violence. And Morrison highlights how cruel internalized oppression is, because it makes the person almost complicit in their own pain. Piccola isn't only a victim of racism from the outside.
She becomes a victim of the ideas she's absorbed.
Exactly. The beliefs telling her she's inherently flawed because she's black. That's why the blue eyes are such a perfect, devastating symbol. They stand for beauty, yes, but also belonging, worth, love, everything her world denies her.
But Morrison, her genius, it doesn't stop just with Piccola's personal story, as central as it is. She broadens the view, doesn't she?
Absolutely, she weaves in other critical themes.
Showing how Piccola's yearning is part of a much larger, complex picture of the challenges faced by the community. Exploring these other themes really deepens our understanding of her journey and the world she's trapped in.
Definitely. And connecting to that bigger picture, you have the theme of identity and self-worth, which is huge here. Piccola's longing for blue eyes is the ultimate symbol of what happens when you try to conform to impossible ideals imposed from outside, instead of valuing your own identity. It's a loss of self, really, an erasure. What happens when you're never shown a positive reflection of yourself?
And it's not just psychological, the damage. There's real trauma involved, too.
Oh, absolutely. Childhood trauma is central. Morrison is unflinching in showing the emotional and physical abuse Piccola suffers, not just from her parents, but the wider community, too.
It just chips away at her.
Relentlessly. It shapes her sense of self, erodes it, and ultimately is directly linked to her mental breakdown. The family dysfunction, that complete lack of nurturing, safety, protection, doesn't just make her vulnerable, it actively contributes to her unraveling. She lives in a world without love, a world that treats her as disposable. That takes an immense toll.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, I think. Because Morrison introduces Claudia McTeer.
Yes. Claudia's perspective is crucial.
Right. Morrison doesn't just give us Piccola's view. We see things through Claudia, another young black girl watching Piccola's life unfold. And Claudia offers this different way of seeing things, a contrast regarding beauty and identity.
A vital counterpoint.
Exactly. It's like seeing the same harsh reality but through two different sets of eyes. One internalizes the poison, the other starts to push back even just a little.
And that contrast is so important. While Piccola is drowning in that desire for whiteness, Claudia gives us glimpses of resistance. Remember how she dismantles the white dolls?
Yeah, I do.
It's not just random destruction. It's this fierce, almost intuitive questioning of why. Why are these the symbols of beauty? She doesn't just pity Piccola. She questions the very standards causing the pain.
So her perspective isn't just different, it's like an act of defiance.
A kind of cultural and personal self-preservation, absolutely. A refusal, even if subconscious at that age, to buy into the message that blackness equals ugliness. That questioning is just as important to the novel's message as Piccola's tragic story.
This raises an important question then, doesn't it? How do these different viewpoints, Piccola's collapse versus Claudia's budding resistance, how do they enrich the novel's overall message about these societal pressures? Seeing both sides.
Well, by showing us both, Morrison does something quite remarkable. She demonstrates that even though the external pressures are immense, potentially devastating,
There's still room for resilience.
there's potential for resilience, yes. And for different ways of seeing, different ways of defining yourself in the world. Claudia's perspective, though still forming, offers a flicker of hope, maybe, or at least an alternative path.
It shows that responses can vary even in the same toxic environment.
Exactly. It underlines the importance of community, maybe, or self-definition, and definitely the importance of actively questioning the narratives we're fed. It's really a testament to the power of storytelling itself, how narratives can either reinforce harmful ideas or start to dismantle them.
It is such an unsettling novel. It forces you to confront some really uncomfortable truths. But its power, its relevance today, it's just undeniable.
Undeniable. The Bluest Eye is absolutely a cornerstone work. African-American literature, feminist studies, it's essential because it tackles these raw truths about race, beauty, self-acceptance without flinching.
And it's not just history.
No, it's timeless. It's a critique of destructive societal standards that still resonates. The book demands that we look at the real human cost of these ideals and, how they echo even now. New forms of blue eyes keep cropping up, don't they? In media, social media validation, all sorts of manufactured ideals.
What a journey, really, diving back into this work. From Pecola Breedlove's intensely personal tragedy, we've really explored Morrison's huge critique of beauty standards and their devastating impact.
It's such a stark reminder of how external forces can get inside us, shape our very sense of self sometimes. Well, beyond recognition.
So maybe a final thought for you listening right now.
As you think about this conversation, maybe ask yourself, what are the blue eyes in your world, in your community right now?
What are those ideals that society holds up? Beautiful, acceptable, successful, whatever they might be.
And how do those ideals, the obvious ones and the subtle ones, how do they influence how you see yourself and how you see others, maybe even the people closest to you?
It's a really important question to sit with, isn't it? We hope you'll reflect on, well, the need to question these ideas we inherit about beauty and value.
And the incredible power of literature, like The Bluest Eye, to shine a light on these struggles, struggles that often happen beneath the surface, unseen.
It's really a call to look deeper, isn't it? To see the real impact of what our society chooses to call beautiful or worthy.